Hello and welcome along to our next CrowdProperty.com funding opportunity. This is the phase one of the land southwest of West Lodge, Minto, Hawick in Scotland, TD9 8SA. Now, CrowdProperty is a peer-to-peer lending platform designed to facilitate loans between private individuals and professional property businesses. CrowdProperty is authorised and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority under permission number 723959. CrowdProperty is not covered by the Financial Services Compensation Scheme. There are risks with any loans you make, and just like all peer-to-peer lending, your capital is at risk. CrowdProperty endeavours to protect all lenders. This is done by registering the legal first charge against the property project. This means that in the very unlikely event of borrower defaults on the loan, CrowdProperty will be able to take ownership of the project and manage it for the lenders. Now, the borrower on this project is Borders Low Carbon Developments Limited, their company number SC463041. And the sole director of the company is David Anderson. I'm delighted that he's joining us here on this webinar. Welcome along, David. Tell us a little bit more about you and your background.
I have about 40 years experience as an architect and planner. Much of that has been in Scotland, although I have worked in California, where I learned a lot of good construction practice. And I moved into property development about 10 years ago. The kind of development that I specialize in is high performance quality development that's bespoke for individual sites. We're currently working on a number of projects, including riverside housing in Hawick and flats in Galashiels, which will feature roof gardens and espalier orchards. The design is something that I started, and Borders Low Carbon Developments is the project manager and also the main contractor for this project. So it's a vertically integrated company, and we undertake everything from the start right down to the finish. The executive architects, CSY, are based in Galashiels. The structural engineer, Harry Turnbull, is based in Hawick.
Let's then look at this project. And this project is the phase one of an estimated three-phase raise. CrowdProperty has agreed a total loan facility of £615,000, with this first raise being for £200,000, and that's to construct 2 dwellings. The loan will run for a maximum of 15 months. Interest on this raise is retained. Lenders will receive interest paid monthly at the equivalent rate of 8% per annum. And interest on future raises is going to be rolled up and then paid at exit. Let's start off, please, David, finding out a little bit more about the village of Minto.
Minto is a very quiet village located under the Minto Hills in the southern borders. And it's about a mile away from the Teviot River, which is part of the Tweed River Basin. Minto is about a mile from Denham, which has a full range of services, and about 5 miles from Hawick and about the same distance from Jedburgh.
Now, planning permission was granted by Scottish Borders Council. The planning reference is 19/00947/FUL. That was permission granted for building of the 2 dwelling houses. This maximum loan term is 50 months. It will be first charge secured to protect investors on this project. And the exit strategy is that once the development is completed, the plots will be sold in the open market to repay the loan. I've got a location plan for you here showing exactly where Minto is. You can see on the right-hand side the village of Minto. On the left, it shows with the CrowdProperty flag pointing to where it is just over the border from England. That yellow line you can see on the right-hand side is the border with England and the Cheviot, or I think Scottish people call it the Cheviot Hills, and that's exactly where it is in the Scottish borders. Property located in the village of Minto, opposite Minto Golf Club. The property overlooks Rubeslaw Hill and Teviot Valley, and there's various local schools nearby. The Mary Queen of Scots Visitor Centre is close by as well as Fatlips Castle, Jedburgh Castle and Jail Museum, all very short drive away from this property. And there's excellent salmon fishing on the Teviot River close by to this project as well. Here is the site plan. You can see the shape of the land and how the two properties are going to be positioned on that site plan. But let's start off, please, David. Talk us through, as a headline, what you are proposing to do here, and start off by telling us how you found the land.
I found the land by accident. I was working another project, and then this just came up, and it's one of the most desirable sites, I think, in the whole of the Borders. Its location beside the golf club, which has meals to non-residents, has a beautiful 18-hole golf course, but it has facilities for non-residents 7 days a week. And Minto is just a fantastic setting for walking, for cycling, and it's just beautiful surrounding countryside. The site had been granted originally planning permission back in the 90s, and then it was left, and it became pretty much overgrown with oak trees. And so it was really that I started the idea of positioning the houses within what is essentially an oak wood, and there are lots of lovely trees within the sites. Each site is 1/4 of an acre, and each house will be a total of 250 square meters with a garage.
So let's then take a look inside of those properties, and we'll have a look at the floor plans. Talk us through what you're going to be building here.
The houses are shaped in as an L shape to maximize the west-facing rear garden views and sunlight, and also take advantage within an inner courtyard of the morning light. So a lot of the accommodation is on the ground floor, but on the first floor there is a gallery and a couple of guest bedrooms. So it's a comfortable house. It uses spaces outside as an extension of the living spaces inside.
And then when we look at the elevations of the property, tell us what you're going to be building the buildings with.
The buildings are constructed as a bespoke timber frame, and then they are clad with Scottish render, which is a wet dash render, and oak shiplap cladding. It's European oak shiplap cladding. And the roof is slate. The gutters are steel metal gutters, pre-finished. I avoid the use of plastic wherever I can. So these are natural materials, high quality natural materials.
And who do you see as your target market to buy these properties from you?
I think the market is people who are looking to live in the countryside, often downsizing from the city. In the past, I have sold houses near to this location from people all over the UK.
Now, of course, you worked on other projects previously, and I've got a couple of case studies I'd like you to talk through for us, please, David. What did you do here in Jedburgh?
This was a corner site which had been left as a ruin of leftover ground, which I designed flats originally. In the process of undertaking archaeological work, we discovered a 700-year-old ruin, which was probably part of the complex of buildings which are now part of Mary Queen of Scots House, which is the most popular tourist destination in the Borders. So this is the heart of the conservation area in Jedburgh. And I came up with a proposal for literally turning what was originally the planners were promoting into a house which had a south-facing aspect onto the gardens and orchards around Mary Queen of Scots House, and building a 4-bedroom house which could be used as a bed and breakfast, or it could be used as a family home.
And then the second case study I've got is one that you did at Nisbet Mill Garden. Talk us through this one as well.
This is a site which is next door to Monteviot House, which is the home of Lord Lothian. The site was on the open market, and it had outline consent for 2 houses. The planning requirement was that the houses should be linked. So I got planning permission for 2 large houses with a kind of granny flat arrangement. So these houses were specifically designed for country living. They have underfloor heating supplied by air sourced heat pumps. They have solar panels and heat recovery systems, but also wood burning stoves. So they really are efficient, low energy houses, but also they've got a traditional appearance and they use natural traditional materials as well.
And all 4 houses sold within 2 weeks of going on the market.
Yes, I was surprised. I was surprised. There's a huge demand for houses in the borders. Just last month, Galbraith's, the Scottish agents, came out with a report which said the borders was the most popular place in Scotland with the greatest demand for houses in 2020.
Well, thanks for explaining everything to us, David. And let's return to the project in Minto. Here's an overview of the project financials and this proposed loan. So the phase 1 raise is for £200,000. That's part of the total facility of £615,000. RICS verified the current market value to be £220,000. They've also verified the gross development value at £1.1 million. The estimated conversion cost is £655,000. And the initial drawdown will be £130,000. The remaining loan will be drawn in stages upon the completion of the independent monitoring surveyor's reports. The initial loan to value is 59.1%. The amount excluding the interest is 55.9%. And then when you include the rolled up interest, 59.7%. Profit on cost is 32.11%. It's a maximum loan term of 15 months. The loan is targeted to commence on completion of all of the legals. And remember, the exit strategy is that once the development is completed, the borrower will sell the plots in the open market to repay the loan. Lenders are going to be receiving 8% per annum interest. This first phase is going to be paying that interest monthly, and it will be first charge secured against the property. So your next steps are to make sure that you understand the loan, carry out your own due diligence, and then decide how much you would like to lend. CrowdProperty.com is the place to be to pledge on launch. The necessary anti-money laundering checks will be carried out, and then you'll be invited to send your funds to your own online e-wallet, and you'll start earning interest on completion of the loan agreement. So this project is the land southwest of West Lodge, Minto, Hawick, TD9 8SA. This is phase 1 when we're looking to raise £200,000. This is going to be paying the interest monthly at the equivalent rate of 8% per annum. Thank you for watching this CrowdProperty.com webinar. We look forward to you joining us again soon for more funding opportunities back here at CrowdProperty.com.